So first of all, could you please let me know what's your name?
So my name is Dasha. Yes, you can call me Dasha.
Okay, and where are you from?
Not an easy question. I was born in Moldova, a small country in East Europe.
Okay.
But I've been living in Scotland for many years.
Wow.
So I've been studying there. So I'm basically living between two countries, Moldova and Scotland.
Yeah. Scotland in Glasgow or in Scotland?
I finished university in Glasgow, but I live in Edinburgh.
Wow.
I prefer Edinburgh.
So Scotland is the parts of the UK, right?
So far, yes.
So UK, you have 4 nations, like Scotland is included, right?
Yes. So it's England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland.
So Scotland, the whole country they speak English?
Almost. I mean, yes, everyone speaks English, but on the very north there is a special, quite old language called Gaelic.
Yeah.
So I don't speak it. Not many people in Scotland do. But it sounds a little bit like a mix of English and German to me.
So what about at school or like in public like this, they speak English only, right?
Yes, everyone speaks English. Right. In school you might get a subject like Gaelic, but it's optional, you don't have to learn it. And up north sometimes some science will be in English and in Gaelic. Yes. Not many people speak it.
Yeah. Okay, so go back to you here. How long have you been here?
In Laos since February.
Since February?
Yeah, like this, February 2020.
Yeah. So you stuck here similar?
Kind of stuck here, but I kind of I acclimatized, so I got a job, living
really?
like a normal life basically here.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you like here?
Yes, I do like Laos. It's warm. I mean, I came from Scotland.
That by comparison to your country, to Scotland is, so how cold in there currently?
I mean, it never goes, rarely goes into minus. So it's, I would say, it's not cold, but the problem is it's windy and it's close to Northern Sea and oceans. So it's wet and windy, so it's not very pleasant cold. For example, in my home country in Moldova, which is close to Ukraine, Russia, it's frost. It's frost. It's freezing. It's minus. Yeah.
I heard that's minus 50 or 40.
In some places in Russia or back in the days when the climate wasn't that bad, it was that cold. But in Scotland, the problem is it's windy and wet, and it makes you feel even colder.
Really?
It's weird weather. Horrible. I hate it.
So I guess that because I lived in Vietnam before, so I think I'm not a big fan of cold weather. I like warm, but not super hot. Just in this period, sometimes is in moderation, so I love this period of time.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Yeah. I spent some time in Upper Bank.
Yeah.
Now it's probably freezing up there, but
not that.
I've been there in September, October, and that was perfect weather. It wasn't too hot, and it was slightly like chill. So something that I like.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you more about, because I have lots of foreigner friends. They said that's all of them. They mentioned about the culture shock. What about you? What do you think about the culture shocks for you? The big difference between the culture there and here in Laos when you new here?
I mean, when I came to Laos, it wasn't that shocking for me because previously I've been in Vietnam, in Thailand, in India, so I kind of like, obviously it's quite different, but I understood how Asia is like. But it's still quite different. I think the way people take everything, the way people live is weird for me.
Really?
What used to be weird, now it's okay. You know, this it's like, I call it Bopanyan style. People are really relaxed here because back in Scotland I feel like everyone is are stressing out about job, about paying rent. Obviously all over the world is the same, but here people are more cheerful, more smiley, even though they definitely have their problems in life, but they're still more friendly to you rather than back in UK. Maybe some people would disagree with me, but that's just my feeling. Yes, so similar.
Because actually I've been watching a lot of like English TV, especially because all of my English I must mastered English from all the by watching the English TV, not TV, YouTube, okay.
Best
BBC
way.
News, BBC News and Sky News. You know, at the first, like, I mastered the American accent, American English. So, like, the one that get me into British accent is her name is what is that? Sophia Rich on Sunday on the Sky News. Yeah, so her accent is, I heard, wow, so that's pretty cool that accent she speaks like the, I don't know how to pronounce like her, but I love that accent as well. So since then, so she got me into that, so I try to follow like every video that she appeared on the TV, so I get into it since then, so I try to emulate or tie up the British accents, but it's hard to me to get that, but anyway, so I just proud what I get now.
It's hard, yes. Like same here, I cannot pick up accents, like I just speak the way I speak. But what do you prefer, America or British accent?
That's no doubt, like undoubtedly for me is British again. Because I'm a massive fan of that accent because there's a couple of reasons, I guess. When I was trying to learn the American accent, so when I listen to the British accent, like it's tough for me to get what they are saying. So I thought, what's the problem? So I tried to learn the British accent. Since then, I can understand American easily when I can understand the British. And wow, isn't that pretty cool?
Makes it easier, yes.
What about turning into the language? You said that before you are from different country and moved to the Scotland. So in terms of that, so could you please share your experience of learning English? Okay. And your first time back to
when I just came to UK, like back in my home country, I've been learning German mainly. So my English was very poor, like almost zero. So when I came to UK and I came to Scotland, it's tough to learn English there because of the accent, hard to understand. And I was also kind of a shy kid. I was 15, I couldn't speak with people that much. So if someone would ask me for advice, like don't bother about your mistakes. Ignore, you can do 100 mistakes in one sentence, but as long as you just be brave, go speak. Go outside, find some foreigners, find some friends, never mind, just speak with them. So that's the only way to start. Theory does nothing without practice, obviously. But also, back in the days, YouTube, maybe I didn't know much things, but it wasn't that broad. Not many things were going on YouTube. So I've been going to memes website, you know, like funny pictures, some jokes, like you know, teenage stuff. So I've been reading them, and I was just like, I don't understand that. I'm curious, why is it so funny about this picture? And so I've been translating, and this kind of helped me to not just pick up English quite quick, but pick up it on a level of being able to understand locals, like my age group. So books and like all this tutoring is quite good, but you have to learn something that you're interested in first of all. If you're into, for example, makeup, go to YouTube, watch tutorials in English, and just get used to the language. If you love cars, watch Top Gear, great for language as well. Love TV shows, watch Friends, How I Met Your Mother, and things like that. So because I was interested, you see that? That one is good. And so that was my experience. I've been learning from like internet. But again, my biggest problem was my fear to speak. I've been terrified to speak with Scottish people. But eventually you would overcome that anyway.
So what about your university life there? Did you have still struggle with the language problem or not?
First I came when I was 15. I came to high school, middle school, then high
middle
school.
school in Scotland?
In Scotland,
wow,
yes.
That's no problem.
Yeah, that was a rough place, especially if you don't speak English. Teenagers are not so patient compared to adults.
Yes.
But yeah, I finished high school there, college, and then I went to university. At that point, my English was decent, I guess. So it was alright. I was enjoying even writing essays, theses, and dissertations. It was actually quite exciting for me. So yeah, but if someone would worry like going to university in the UK without having a strong language abilities, it depends on the subject you choose, but you can make it through. It would be hard, but on my course there were a couple of people from China whose English was really like very poor. It would be even lower than pre-intermediate.
So you do have an international student at your university?
Loads. A lot of students from China. I think mainly from China, and they struggled a lot with English, but they still made it through. It depends on the course you choose. If you study literature, yes, maybe you shouldn't do that. But in my case, I've been studying design and architecture, so the main point is for you to be creative rather than speaking English. Still, it's important, but you can always make it through. You can ask for help. You can study harder than anyone else. So if someone bothers about that and thinking should I do it or not, they should totally go for it if there's a chance.
Because in terms of that, so like if for the audience who are watching this role, like they know nothing about English or they are very beginner student, so what would you recommend to them to start? Should they start by listening first or speaking or reading, like how to get into English if they know nothing about English?
About university or language?
No. I mean for the audience, to the student who are watching us talking now, they want to learn English. So what is your recommendations for them?
I would say if you know nothing, it's you have to obviously be able to form sentences. Grammar is useful, but you can skip it. Maybe you shouldn't listen my advice, but I would start from listening, obviously videos, and if not something too advanced, go to watch some maybe your favorite cartoons in English, something even for kids, something very simple, but you get used to listening to the language. And you learn your vocabulary, write it down, but not just write it down and repeat it. Try to build a sentence with that. You've learned a word, for example, spoon, or you see a spoon, I see a spoon, I put a spoon on the table, something very basic. People underestimate daily practice. So it's hard to start speaking straight away, but still you have to go and speak. It's very hard, it's scary.
So you mean listen, then try to speak what have you heard from the video?
Just repeat after them. Yes, this is basically how I've learned English. I never studied grammar, I never studied properly vocabulary. There are a lot of words in English, I don't know how to translate it in my mother language, but I just copied people around me.
Like for me, like I see in this situation, so they use these sentences or this kind of words, so I try to use like them. Like I hope it's gonna have the same meaning. That's what I want to express.
Yes. This was my feeling. Like I was saying a word when my English wasn't that good at all. I was saying a word and I was literally praying to God that it means what I think it means, because I wasn't sure if I'm saying it right. But let's hope. So take a risk.
Okay. Again, we need only sort of